Hello and welcome to another edition of City Beat. I'm your host, Tamika Keenan Norman, and today's show is fun. It's all about our Parks and Recreation Department. Coming up in just a moment, GarryHodges is joining us on the show to tell us about a brand new event coming to Rocky Mount. Also a little later, Sheila, along with the Imperial Center, is going to tell us all about First Fridays. And Alicyn Wiedrick with the Maria V. Howard Arts Center has the 411 on the latest exhibit, Color in Freedom, Journey Along the Underground Railroad. So stay tuned. This is an exciting show, I promise. More of City Beat is coming up next.
3,000 passenger trains carried 1.6 million people through the Twin Counties last year. You can say our railroad tracks are the ties that bind Edgecombe and Nash together.
When a child or teenager says, "There's nothing to do in the Twin Counties," why don't you say, which of the 1,500 youth programs in Edgecombe and Nash should I sign you up for?
23,000 students are taught by 1,500 teachers in all of the public and private schools in Edgecombe and Nash. We don't kid around when it comes to education.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. I'm your host, Tamika Keenan Norman, and you know, it's really amazing because folks are already talking about an event that's coming up next year. It's called the Tackle the Tar event, and here to talk more with us about it is GarryHodges. How are you?
Good morning, Tamika. Good to see you. Yes, Tackle the Tar is going to be a new signature event for the city of Rocky Mount. I'm a Rotarian, so the Rocky Mount Rotary Club, in conjunction with Park and Rec with the city, we're going to be hosting a 5K obstacle, mud run, bands, food truck rodeo, bouncy houses. We're going to have the biggest bouncy house for children to do a obstacle run on their level and other obstacles for them as well. So it's going to be a big family fun day. Okay, and tell me when and where exactly that event is going to be held. We're going to be May 14th, a Saturday, 2016, at the sports complex. We're going to have some timed heats. These are sanctions events, and on the timed runs for the obstacles, there's going to be a 2,000 first place prize, 1,000 prize for second place, and 500 for third place. But it's going to be at the sports complex May 14th, a Saturday. That sounds really exciting. Now, Gary, you're also a photographer around the city of Rocky Mount, for those who don't know that, but you're also a member of one of the committees that's putting this event together, right? Yes, Chris Brabble with First Carolina is the chairperson, and I co-chair. There's 5 committees, from fundraising to the obstacles, the band, and all of that. So I sit on all of the committees. So you got to do the work. Exactly. But we're the Rocky Mount Rotary. This is an event to raise money for scholarships for Edgecombe Community College students, Nash Community College, and Wesleyan College, as well as some other educational funds for like 3rd grade reading and things of that nature. So this is all about education, raising money for our children to get a better education, which is the foundation for their growth and helping our area. So what time again is the event? We're going to start at 10 o'clock. We're going to have timed heats every 30 minutes. And then family, let's say I want to see you, Tamika, run out there on the obstacle course, crawling through the mud, trying to beat your husband. And it's going to be a fun family day. Parents can take their kids and do a scaled down version, take pictures of the kids pulling tires, crawling through some tunnels, and there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing. Now, when you say timed heats, is that another word for obstacles? Timed heats, this is going to be sanctioned, meaning that we're going to have runners from out of state coming in that's going to be competing like a Spartan run, a Spartan run. And so this is unique. This has never been done in the city before. And again, tying this in with the other things that we're doing in the city for the Positive Action Committee and things of that nature. This is all about family and having something at our award-winning sports complex. So how did this idea originate? Because you've been talking about Tackle the Tar. I've been hearing about it for the past couple of months, I would say. We started about a year ago. Rotary was looking for a way to increase how can we raise money to have a signature event. We polled our members, the Rocky Mount Rotary Club, and we wanted a new signature event for the city and to increase the dollar level of scholarships. Heretofore, we've been given 3 $1,000 scholarships. And Tamika, you know, $1,000, if you're going to Duke or Carolina, $1,000 will hardly buy a couple of books. And so we wanted this to be more meaningful and what we could do. And Chris Brabble is a new member with Rotary and with First Carolina, and she came in and she runs these Spartan runs, and she said we ought to do one of these races, and she put a proposal out to the board as to this is what we can do. And I saw that I was excited because this was an opportunity, especially over time, where we could go $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 into the scholarship for our children to get a better education and help them and help the students of our area have the financial means to get a better education.
Now, how will you determine the scholarship recipients?
The board is working on that. We'll be working with people at the Edgecombe community, Nash and Wesleyan, and there will be a process to do that. So we're working on those finite details right now.
Okay, so for those, and this is great physical activity stuff too. So when you talk about how it relates to other things like the visioning and strategic plan process, it falls all in line with that as well too.
Correct.
But let me ask you this, for those who can't participate in some of the obstacle courses, what can they do?
They can simply walk. For instance, if I said I wanted to run the race, but I decided I didn't want to crawl through the mud pit,
right,
I can simply walk around it. So after the timed heats, there are going to be families can run. Families can run with their younger children or walk the course. So it will be a good walking day as well. And Park and Rec that day is going to have some ball games. They're going to have some soccer games. There are going to be other families out there. So it's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of people out there. And this is at no cost to the community. You only pay a fee if you want to do the run, if you want to go through the time heat. So everybody's going to get a medal. They're going to get a T-shirt. It's insured. It's covered. And for those that are really into the Spartan thing, it's a timed heat. But it's going to be a family fun day. We're going to have 12, 15 food trucks out there.
Wow,
We're going to have 3 or 4 bands out there. So, and it's going to run till 8, 9 o'clock at night. And there's the brew mill's going to have, the wine tasting and all of that.
Oh, this is going to be really exciting.
And a lot of foods, a lot of vendors, and fun. This is a great day.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Can you tell?
Yes. Now that you're giving me additional details, I really see why it's something for everybody, the entire family. Now let me ask you this, because we're in the Imperial Center right now. The event is going to be held at the sports complex. The reason we're in here today is because it's raining right now. But is there a particular rain date in mind?
We have not done a rain date with the Spartans. They're up Macho and all of them ladies and men that do that. So there is not a rain date at this time. So we're going forward, rain or shine.
Sounds good.
And if people want more information, they can go to tacklethetar.com and get more information. And we've got a brochure. I'm going to hand you a brochure on Tackle the Tar. We're looking for sponsorships, people that businesses that want to sponsor an obstacle or a signature event that day. Like you said, we've been planning it and talking about it, but we really got it into the gear in the last couple of months. We've already got $9,000 in cash plus, and we've got over $12,000 in kind. Rocky Mount Telegram is doing a lot of in-kind sponsorship. The City of Rocky Mount on Channel 19 right now is sponsoring, and we thank the city for their thing. This is for the community. And again, at no cost to come out, enjoy the band. Of course, they got to buy their food at the food truck.
Right.
And if they want to get into the race, they can do that.
Well, that sounds really good. Tell us the website one more time, Gary.
TackleTheTar.com.
Yeah, and these are some great brochures. It actually outlines all of the obstacles. This sounds really good. Roller coaster walls. You climb over and under a row of walls. Just a little something, barrel crawl. It's
barrel
interesting.
Crawl. We're going to have the rope net. We've got a high wall. We've got crawling underneath, whether it's barbed wire or some in the mud. And so I'll pay $100 to see.
I might come out there, Gary, get in the mud. I might walk around.
But seriously, we invite everybody. May 14th, 2016, at the Rocky Mountain Sports Complex beginning about 10 o'clock until we get done at tacklethetar.com.
And the reason we wanted you on the show so early was to kind of get people interested in learning about the event and, of course, to get some additional sponsors. But we hope to have you on the show later as well, a little closer to the date of the event.
Thank you. There is tremendous excitement in the community. We're getting calls from out of state. Everybody is tremendously excited about this. And I can't wait till that day.
Well, thank you so much, Gary. Anything else you wanted to add?
That's it today. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you. GarryHodges joining us on another edition of City Beat. I told you this show was going to be so exciting. Coming up next, we're going to speak with Sheila Long about our upcoming event, First Fridays. I'm Tamika Keenan Norman. City Beat is coming up. More of City Beat coming up next.
Did you know that a total of 152,800 people live in Nash and Edgecombe counties? That's a larger population than High Point or Wilmington.
How many people in Nash and Edgecombe counties have jobs in manufacturing? Over 20,000 workers make products in the Twin Counties that are sold all over the world.
Last year, farmers in Nash and Edgecombe counties raised $420 million from selling crops and livestock. Agriculture continues to be of growing importance in the Twin Counties.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. If you're just tuning into our show today, thanks to GarryHodges for joining us a little earlier and telling us about the upcoming event, Tackle the Tar. And you can always find out more information if you visit the website at tacklethetar.com. And we also have another exciting first-time event, First Fridays, that's happening right here at the Imperial Center. And joining us today is Sheila Long, our Recreation Services Supervisor for the Imperial Center. Thanks for joining us. This is like your third time on the show, right?
Thanks for having me. Yes, ma'am. We enjoy doing it.
Yeah, so First Friday, tell me what that event is all about.
First Friday is a special event series that's going to stem off of your Downtown Live and Lawn Chair Theater. And it's an opportunity for live music and great fellowship and for you to just get an opportunity to explore the arts and sciences and the opportunities we have to offer here at the Imperial Center.
So exciting. Now,
Yes.
First Friday, the first Friday of every month.
Yes.
And what are the dates, the date ranges?
So we're going to do First Fridays from November through May, every first Friday. We won't do it in January because it's a holiday, but it'll be from 6 to 9 p.m.
Sounds good. Now, you mentioned activities and exploring the Imperial Center.
Yes.
What are some of those activities?
For example, some weeks we'll do workshops for art education. There's a small fee for that, but that's the only thing we charge a fee for, and it'll be about $5. And some examples are we're going to do silk scarf dyeing, raku throwing, and firing. We'll do some jewelry making, just a variety of things that we hope to be able to offer some wonderful classes for people to see what we can offer to them. We also are going to have the art exhibits in the Children's Museum open for people to explore at no charge. And there'll be different, so in the Science Museum, the Reptile Rescue will come some months, the North Carolina Science, Museum of Science or Natural Sciences will be joining us, and then Sylvan Heights some months. So it'll change every month, so there'll be a different opportunity every time you come.
Okay, and we're actually standing right now in the Children's Museum in front of Mission Weather. So will this be available as well on First Friday?
It will. Through the end of December, whatever exhibits are going to be on display, it'll be available for families to participate in. So through the end of December, we'll have Zula. We'll also have Be the Dinosaur. But as soon as that closes down, when we open back up in February, our next exhibit will be In Design 2. And so you'll be able to enjoy that.
Now, you mentioned a little earlier something I wasn't familiar with, raku throwing.
Yes.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
What is that?
It's a type of pottery. So we have a raku kiln. It's very flashy, lots of fire, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So we're going to have some vases thrown, and people are going to have an opportunity to glaze them, and then they get to see them fired, and they actually get to walk away with their piece of pottery that night.
Now, one other thing I saw some flyers for No Shame Open Mic.
Yes.
What is that all about?
No Shame is an opportunity for you to come in any performing arts. So music, if you have a script reading you want to try out, a monologue, if you want to play your guitar, you want to sing, anything performing arts related is an opportunity for you to get on stage and just show it off.
Okay, I love poetry, so I can come and I can do my poetry.
Yeah, you can do a poetry reading.
Girl.
There you go.
Now, also live music, reminiscent of Downtown Live. You're going to have that here as well.
Yes, we will have a variety of live music. So it's not necessarily going to be the same. It might not be beach music every time. It might not be jazz every time, but it's going to be a variety, a little bit of something for everybody.
So this is really interesting, like you said earlier, year round. So when this ends, probably what, a week after or so, Downtown Live comes.
Yes, Downtown Live will start up just after we end with First Fridays for the year.
Wow. So no price to get in. No. What's a website that folks can go to for some additional information?
You can always go to the City of Rocky Mount website, or you can go to www.imperialcenter.org.
Okay. And how did the idea come about for First Friday?
We were looking for an opportunity for people to come to downtown and the Imperial Center on a regular basis. An opportunity for people to see what's to be offered here on an ongoing basis as well. You know, we have the Downtown Live series. We have a wonderful turnout for that over the summer, but once October comes and the barbecue festival, it kind of dies down outside of the holiday events. So something to keep people here year round, to know that we're still here, we're still offering great programs, and we'd love to have them.
All right, well, I'm very excited.
Yes, we are too.
So thank you so much for being on the show. Just like Sheila said, First Friday happening every First Friday, excluding January, right, through May 6th. So we want you to come out and be a part of this 6 until 9 p.m. right here at the Imperial Center for the Arts and Sciences. Anything additional you want to add?
No, just check out our wonderful exhibits we've got now. There's Color and Freedom in the Art Center. We mentioned Zula and Be the Dinosaur here, so there's some great opportunities, and we'd love for people to join us.
And the entire family is welcome, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
All right. So like Sheila said earlier, if you want some additional information, visit the website imperialcenter.org or rockymounttnc.gov. Thank you so much for tuning in. You mentioned Color and Freedom. We're going to speak with Alicyn Wiedrick in just a moment. More of City Beat is coming up next.
If you're seeking a house of worship in the Twin Counties, count your blessings, because in Nash and Edgecombe, there are 263 churches serving 45 different denominations.
Last year, farmers in Nash and Edgecombe counties raised $420 million from selling crops and livestock. Agriculture continues to be of growing importance in the Twin Counties.
There are already 61,000 workers on the job at 10,000 places of employment in the Twin Counties. Nash and Edgecombe are working together to bring us even more new jobs.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. Thanks so much to Sheila Long for joining us on the show today. And don't forget, First Fridays, November 6th through May 6th, right here at the Imperial Center for the Arts and Sciences. And also at the Imperial Center's Art Center, Maria V. Howard Art Center, is the latest exhibit, Color and Freedom, Journey Along the Underground Railroad. And joining us to talk more about that is a regular, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you your own show.
All right.
Alicyn Wiedrick, curator for the Art Center. How are you, Alicyn?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming back on City Beat today.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Now tell us about Color and Freedom. I know it's a collection of paintings and drawings. Artist Joseph Holston.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the exhibit.
So Color and Freedom, as you said, is by Joseph Holston, and it's a traveling exhibit with international arts and artists. They're out of Washington, D.C. And this exhibit talks about the long history of the African Americans in America. It talks about slavery, it goes into plantation life, their escape into freedom, and then finally, of course, emancipation with Color and Freedom. So it sort of talks about the history, but more importantly, it's a beautiful, beautiful artistic exhibit. He uses color to express such human emotion. It's really spectacular, no matter who you are.
And if you look behind us, you'll see this beautiful color that's behind us right now, one of the paintings from artist Joseph Holston.
Absolutely.
So how long is this exhibit on display?
It'll be here until December 13th, so come on down.
Yeah, free to get in, correct?
Free to get in. We're open Tuesdays through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and on Sundays we're open from 1 to 5. And also we'll be open on First Fridays on November 6th and December 4th into the evening, and you can capture the exhibit here as well with live music.
That sounds good.
Yes, absolutely.
So how did you find out about this exhibit, and why did it interest you to bring this here at the Imperial Center?
Well, I follow international arts and artists. They do traveling exhibits and art exhibits in particular. So I follow them and I get their monthly updates on new exhibits. And this is one of the ones they advertise to us. And I chose to bring this here because I've already started to build bridges with the African American community and make them feel more comfortable and at home here. And I want to continue that dialogue. I want the whole community of Rocky Mount to understand how important this history is and how relevant it is, which of course, we can talk about origins of the dream in a little bit, but this exhibit just overlapped beautifully with that opportunity that we were given. So.
And you're talking about building bridges with the African American community. You did that initially when you came here with Women of a New Tribe.
Yes, and exactly a year from then, I wanted to bring in another African American artist in here, and so that brings us to Color and Freedom, because I want to make sure that the community will trust me and to know that I will always speak up for them and make sure that they're represented in our art center.
Exactly. How can everyone, though, the entire community, benefit by seeing this exhibit?
Well, everyone can benefit from it because these are truly human emotions. Fear, loss, hard work, struggle, but of course also perseverance, the strength that it takes to get through hard times. So it doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, where you come from, he uses color to express truly human emotions.
And so you're going to see that through these different paintings and drawings.
Yes, and every single painting you see, he uses colors to emphasize the light, to emphasize the fear, to emphasize the confusion. In fact, one of the pictures behind us is about confusion and about that fear, and he just does it beautifully with color and design.
Is there any one particular piece that stands out to you most?
There are several pieces that stand out to me because they all speak to this history and they all speak to this great human emotion. I don't think I could pick just one because they're all so great. But two that I love to point out when I tour people through here are in Color and Freedom, and one of them has a banjo and one of them has a flute. And the reason I love those pictures is that music that came from slave culture and African American culture is prominent today. Roots music, jazz, blues, it all comes from that community, and I just thought it was wonderful that he included music in his exhibit because it's such an important part of the culture.
That's very interesting. Yeah. This is a great piece for folks in high school and colleges to learn more about, too.
Yes, and we have a lot of groups coming through to see the exhibit, young and old. In fact, coming up very soon, we're going to have a high school group of art students come through to learn about the art, and what's wonderful about this is that no matter who comes through here, they get to learn a little bit about history, and they didn't really expect to learn about history, so it's like extra bang for your buck if you're a teacher.
Now, one of the interesting parts of this exhibit is alongside it is the Origin of the Dream documentary.
Yes.
Tell us about that, because the community has been hearing so much about it.
Yes, we had a very, very successful kickoff event introducing the documentary to our community. And I'll start off by saying that Jason Miller sort of walked into my office one day, and I introduced him to Brooke the same day, and we just came up with this brilliant idea. His dream for his book and for his documentary project was to have it housed here. This is going to be the permanent home of his documentary and the story. And so we partnered with him to have a special short premiere of the documentary that featured Rocky Mount prominently, and that documentary that we saw on our special event recently will also be on display alongside Color and Freedom, and it will stay here in the Arts Center. We're also hoping to find a permanent place for the documentary here. The full-length documentary will be available in 2017, and we can all expect to have another huge kickoff for that too. So a nice showing.
Now, the excerpt that you're showing here alongside Color and Freedom, about how long is that?
It's about 10 minutes long, and it has a couple segments. One segment is the audio that has been remastered of MLK actually speaking. And the great thing about that is that because the audio technology wasn't as strong in those days, when the audience cheers, it really blows out the audio. So there's this high-pitched squeak that comes out, and it sort of brings you back to those times when technology wasn't as great as it is now. The next part of it is about an interview with a community member who is actually there. So a member of our community is actually in the documentary talking about what that was like. And the final piece talks about more along the book thesis that he wrote, and it talks about how Langston Hughes and MLK sort of played off of one another. So Langston Hughes wrote a poem called I Dream a World, and then MLK reused his words in a way with I Have a Dream. And so it talks about the poetry and the political figure together and how they work together in that way.
It's something that everybody really needs to see.
Yeah.
And when I saw it at the premiere, the kickoff, it was very, very interesting, and it made me excited for the full documentary next
and we
year.
have such a rich history here. I can't emphasize that enough, that we have such a powerful history here in Rocky Mount that I know I might be an art curator, but it's one of my missions to make that history known broadly in the community and outside. So.
Very interesting. And for those who don't know, MLK spoke here in 1962. So that was a long time ago.
Yes, it was a long time ago, and a lot of people probably already know this, but the first time that MLK said his I Have a Dream speech was here in Rocky Mount in 1962. And then it wasn't until a year later that he spoke on the steps of Lincoln Memorial in 1963, the more famous, the more public speech that had video and that we're all so familiar with. But he used a lot of the same language, he used a lot of the same tempos in his speech. The only time you can really hear the difference is whenever he references Rocky Mount.
Wow, very interesting. A lot of folks don't know that who aren't from this area.
Absolutely, but a lot of them still do. So you know, I think it's a great time for people who were there and remember this actually happening to come out and tell us their stories. So
how can they do that, Alicyn? What's your contact information?
My contact information is Alicyn, ALICYN .Wiedrick, WIEDRICH at RockyMountNC.gov. I know that's a mouthful, so maybe we could put that at the bottom of the screen.
Right.
My phone number, if you want to reach me by phone, is 252-972-1175.
And give us the hours of operation again. Free admission for folks who want to see the exhibit and the documentary.
Yes, the documentary and the exhibit are both free. The Art Center is free year-round. The hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesdays through Saturdays and 1 to 5 on Sundays.
So very interesting. We're looking forward to seeing more about this exhibit.
I look forward to seeing everyone come out.
Well, thank you so much, Alicyn. Anything additional that you want to add?
Come on out. Seriously.
All right.
Come out and see it and join us. And I love hearing from people. So if there's a particular art form that you're dying to see, I'm always open to ideas. So come on down, talk to me.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me again.
And just like Alicyn said, come on out to the Maria V. Howard Art Center and the Imperial Center for the Arts and Sciences to see this latest exhibit, Color in Freedom, Journey Along the Underground Railroad, alongside the Origin of the Dream documentary. It'll be well worth your time. I'm Tamika Keenan Norman. Thanks again for tuning in to another edition of City Beat.